All right. So tonight's gentle yoga practice, we are going to get underway. And what I'd like for you to do is just have a bolster nearby. You don't have to use it immediately, but just have that nearby. And what I'd like for you to do is head on down to your back, and let's start out by just stretching out nice and long. Just go ahead, if you're even wearing glasses right now, you can place those off to the side. And I want you to spread your arms out just slightly away from your hips. Allow the palms to face upright. Let your fingers start to lengthen. And then begin to feel the gentleness in through your fingers and through your hands. Acknowledging now the distance from the top of your shoulders all the way down to your waistline. And then let's give a little bit more length out through to the feet. So however you need to adjust so that your legs can extend out even longer. And then a slight little push now into your elbows. Let's get the shoulder blades under the heart. And acknowledging now the freedom into the back of your neck. I want you to have just a soft tuck of your chin towards your collarbones. The back of the neck continues to lengthen. The back of the head softens down. And as we bring ourselves into this nice, beautiful, neutral position, I want you to draw your breath in as full as you can, as deep and comfortably as you can receive. And as you empty your breath out, just start to feel the parts of your back releasing down. Feel the back of your legs, your heels, even the little toe sides of your feet releasing down. And it's okay to even have the legs slightly separated. I think mine are probably about 1.5 feet away from each other. And as you drop into your breath, feel then the fullness of your inhalation. Draw it in with so much comfort and ease. And as we empty the breath out slowly, this time let's open the mouth and make a nice long sigh. And then let's inhale deep again. And then open your mouth, let out a sigh. Notice the tone. Let's inhale deep once more. Let your eyes close. Feel the fullness to your breath. And now open your mouth one more time. Now let your right ear roll gently to the right. And as your ear gradually rolls to the right, feel the length from the left earlobe down the left side of your neck. Feel how your left shoulder softens down, soften around your tongue, your jawline. And without lifting your head, just roll your head back around. Pause here for a moment. Feel the release once more. And now, without lifting your head, roll your head to the left and bring left ear gently down. And if you're like me, you may have a little more tightness moving your head to one side than the other. Maybe you find that this is really easy and there's so much freedom and release around the neck, even into the side of the neck, the top of the shoulder. And as you bring your breath in full, deep, 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 empty the breath out very gently. And let's bring the breath in full one more time. And emptying the breath out gently. And now slowly bring your head back around to the neutral point. Good. I want you to now bring your pads of your fingertips up to your forehead and just give a little tap around the forehead. So we're not going to put too much pressure, just a little bit of tapping around the forehead, down across to the temples. And I want you to come to the apples of your cheeks, and then right at the bridge of your nose, take your pointer fingers right where sunglasses or glasses would sit. And then using your pointer fingers, I want you to rub a little bit at the bridge of the nose, down through the side, the bridge of the nose, top and sides, and just give a little bit of release. And now come down the outer part of your nose to the apples of your cheeks. And now I'm going to use my pointer finger and middle finger at the apple of my cheeks, just underneath. So getting into the sinuses a bit. Just create a little circular pattern, releasing any tightness that may be stored here underneath the apples of your cheeks. Good. Come out where the jaw, so towards your earlobes, where the jaw connects to the skull, and let's drop the jaw down a little bit to release any tightness there, and bring your fingers up behind your ears and give a little rub. If you're not wearing earrings and you feel comfortable to pinch at your earlobes, do so. You can pinch, let them pull down a little bit, and work around to the top of your ears. Good. And then as you're resting your fingers to the top of your ears without pinching too hard here, I want you to let your elbows now move wide to the sides and come down to the surface you're working on. So we're connected here at the top portion of the ears. The elbows are moving wide, and I want you to feel the range of motion you're creating in through your shoulders, your upper back, even into the chest. And now we're going to come down, giving a little pinch around the ears, down to the earlobes, still trying to keep the elbows down onto the surface you're working on. Good, and now take your right arm up towards the ceiling, and then try to reach across without rolling to your left side. I want you to take your right hand and reach across to your left waistline. Take in a deep breath, please. Good, and now next inhale, bring your right arm back around as if you're going to be giving a little pinch around your ears once more with your right hand, and now take your left hand up high towards the ceiling, and now reach around and try to touch your right waistline. Acknowledge your breath pattern while you're doing this, please. And how does the right shoulder and chest respond? Are you tensing? Can you relax? Allow the breath to deepen. Good. Next inhale, I want you to lift up and come around and bring left fingers around towards the top of your left ear. Feel the elbows move wide to the sides once more. And now we're going to bring arms out, straight out at shoulder height, more of a T position with your arm. Good. And then from here, I want you to bend both knees. Now notice when you bend your knees how your belly button draws up and your low back starts to lift off the surface you're working on. I want you to push now into your feet, and now flatten your lower back down just enough that you feel comfortable. And now we're going to over-exaggerate. Push into your feet, lift your buttocks off the floor, and then tip your pelvis forward as if your pelvis is rotating more forward. Your pubic bone begins to drop down. Now press strong into your feet, lift your buttocks up, and then let your low back flatten out once more. Just enough that you feel comfort. Now let's move this along with our breath. Inhale, feet. Tip your pelvis forward. Good. Exhale, feet. Flatten your back. Good. Inhale, feet. Tip your pelvis forward. Good, and exhale, feet, and flatten your back. Do it a couple more times on your own. And it's just a slight little lift, nothing too extreme. And now find neutral for your pelvis so that you're not too far one direction or the other. Good. Step your feet slightly wider than your hips, and we're going to windshield wiper the legs, left and right. Notice how you're getting a little bit more length through the top of right thigh or left thigh, depending on the direction you're going. And then it starts to travel up a bit more into the hip flexor, the pelvic points. See if the knees can drop down a little bit more. Let your arms and shoulders continue to relax. Good, and then as you bring your knees back up, let's walk the feet closer together. And now move into cobbler's pose. Take your time here. Try to bring the soles of your feet flat together. And as your feet move flat together, just start to feel the release around inner thighs, knees, hips. Notice if there's any little catch taking place here. Drop it into your upper back, your neck. Try not to tighten and pull your shoulders up towards your ears. Good. Allow your breath to grow full. See if there's one more release in through the knees, groin, hip sockets. The legs may begin to flutter a little bit, so just take your time here without forcing. Full inhale again, please. And empty it slow. One more deep breath in. And empty it slow. Now gradually lift just your left knee up. Allow your right knee and outer thigh to touch the surface you're on. And I want you to try to meet your left knee towards your right. Now your left shoulder may actually lift because of the placement of where right leg was, and that's okay. But then try to relax left shoulder and arm down once more. Now if you find that as you release your left arm down, that the left knee begins to draw up, just have a little bit of that seesaw effect and feel then that you try to drop into both knees and then try to drop into the left shoulder. And ultimately you'll begin to find that sweet space to relax into. Let your eyes close. You may be finding that this is very subtle in through your left waistline, hip. It may be more pronounced into your left shoulder depending on how you're feeling. Maybe you're getting it just into your left armpit. So we have little adjustments that body can create. Good. Now slide your left foot down to the surface you're on. Lift your left knee up. Lift your right knee up as well. Let's level out again into the hips. Good. If you feel like you need to hug both knees in towards your chest first before we move to second side, please do. Give that little rock and release in through your back and hips. Good. And then from here, bring the soles of your feet together once again, cobbler's pose. And then just start to notice, is there a little more release taking place? Are the hips capable of relaxing? Are you settling in that gentleness, or is there a lot of tightness showing up? Sometimes we tighten with anticipation. So just try to just soften in a comfortable manner. How's the breath pattern? Do you find yourself holding breath, or can you feel the release through your tongue, your throat, your jawline? Good, and now mentally connect to your right knee. Slowly lift right leg up. Plant your right foot firmly down to the floor. And then I want you to roll a bit more to your left so that your left knee and hip can stay down towards the ground. Now begin to walk your right leg over so that the right knee can meet the left knee. And then note, does the right shoulder want to pull up, or can the right arm soften down? Is there a sense of tightness, or is there release? If you need to do a little bit of that seesaw effect where you drop into both knees first and then try to lower your right shoulder down, just start to feel a little bit of that back and forth. Check in with your breath pattern. Does breath feel smooth, or is it choppy? Can you allow the exhalation to lengthen more? And if you need to open your mouth again and feel the breath leaving, do that. That's the joy of this type of practice. You can create sounds while you're doing your practice from the comfort of your own home. Take in another full breath, deep, deep, deep. And empty it out slow. And now start to walk your right foot back over to the surface you're on. Slowly level out again through your hips. Lift your left knee up as well. Keep both knees bent deep. Let's level out again through the back, through the hips, the shoulders. Good. And then let's give a hug of both knees inward towards your chest. That nice little rock side to side, loosening up any tightness. Good. All right, so from here, let's get into the hip space just a little bit. And I want you just to place left ankle to right thigh, left ankle, right thigh. And then as we have left ankle to right thigh, I want you to think about your left knee pressing away from your torso. So we're not going to physically push on it. This is more of a mental piece. I want you to just kind of pump your left knee away from you a few times. And now let's lift both arms up high towards the ceiling. I want you to spread fingers. Spread them as wide as you can and notice, if the hands were touching flat to the wall or a surface, would they all be in the same plane, or would there be a finger off that flat surface? Would the thumbs be off the flat surface? So check in with that experience. What do you have going on? Now mentally note, is your left knee still moving, or has it stopped moving because brain is now thinking just about hands and forearms? So taking your left hand, come over to your right thumb. So grab your right thumb right down at the joint. Now keep your left knee still pumping away from you. I want you to give a slight squeeze to your right thumb. Circle the right thumb a little bit and then give a slight little pull. Take your left hand now to your right pointer finger, give a slight pull, circle a bit, and then bring your left hand off the pointer finger. Middle finger now, give a slight pull and off. Is your left knee still pumping? Give a little circle now at your ring finger and off. Little finger, circle it around a bit and pull and off. Good. Spread your fingers, give them a little wiggle. Notice how different right hand is versus left. Here we go. We're going to bring arms down, put your left foot down. Take your right ankle now up to your left thigh. Right ankle, left thigh. And just pump your right knee away from your torso a few times. Feel that release in through the hip, the groin. Now, both arms straight up towards the ceiling once more. We're going to take the right hand, grab the left thumb, circle it a little bit, and give a slight pull, and then release. Come over now to your pointer finger, circle it a little bit, give a pull, and release. Check in. Is your right knee still moving, or is it stopped? Come now to your left middle finger, give a little circle, pull, good. Left ring finger, give a little circle, pull. Here we go, last one. Circle, pull, good. Let your arms come back down to the sides for a moment. Let's pump the right knee just a little bit more. Help loosen up any more of that tightness. Good. And now, unwind. Let's take both legs straight up towards the ceiling. Point and flex your toes. Circle your ankles. Boy, I've got lots of pops in there tonight. It's funny how body responds. Good. Now reach your fingers up towards your toes so arms are long. Try to get your legs long. Good. Now, without placing strain at all into your neck, I want you to concentrate on lifting from the base of your breastbone and your collarbone. So it's like your chest is going to be drawing up towards your toes, okay? Take in a deep breath. Here we go. Exhale, lift up and try to touch your toes. Good. Inhale, put your head back down. Take in a deep breath. All right, exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, here we go. Lift up. Don't bend your knees to touch your toes. Inhale, lower down. Here we go. One more. Reach, 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 reach. And inhale down. Beautiful. Hug your knees in, please. Hands to the top of your knees. We're going to circle the knees out wide to the sides like cobbler's pose. And then hug your knees in. Straighten your arms so knees come away. Open the knees wide to your chest. Away, wide, chest. And away, wide, chest. One more. Away, wide, chest. Good. Let your hands do the movement here of circling your knees. Now we're going to go the opposite. Wide, together, chest. So feel a more circular pattern taking place. Wide, away, together to your chest. Wide, away, chest. And notice which way is easier, which way is more difficult. Good. And go ahead and release both feet down. Let's stretch the legs out. Come back to a more neutral position once more as we pause here for just a moment. Feel a little more extension out through your feet. Notice how the palms of your hands turn up. Let your eyes gently close. And just bring your breath in as full and as comfortable as you can. Where is tightness held in the body in this moment? Or has tightness already begun to leave the body? If you feel like there's still stagnant air into the lungs, I want you to inhale a little bit deeper this time and open your mouth, and let's let the breath empty out with a nice long sigh. Good. All right, so from here, I want you to bring your elbows to connect to your side ribs, and then give a slight flex of your hands so your fingers actually point towards your head and the palms are straight up towards the ceiling. And now point your fingers down towards the floor, and then lift up and around. Flex your hands, feel your thumbs spread as well, and then down towards the floor. Good, come up, flex, and point down. Good, and come up, flex, and point down. Let's go 2 more. Feel the range of motion through the wrists. Notice even what's going on through your forearms. And because we're lying down, the shoulders can't really move too much. We are truly concentrating into the wrists and the hands. Good. Make soft fists, and I want you to circle your wrists. Go one way a few times, and then circle the opposite direction. Good. Now, picking your elbows up, I want you to come up to your collarbones with your fingers and just give a slight tapping across the upper chest, above the collarbones, and below the collarbones. Good. So just start to feel that awakening. You can play with the sound if you want. And come up. Go again across the collarbones, below the collarbones. Now I want you to come to your sternum, right at the center of your chest, and I want you to tap. You can really feel deeper sensation there, and come down almost to the base of your breastbone. Take in a deep breath. Good, and now notice right at the base of your breastbone, just give a little push. We're not on the ribs, we're in the more fleshier part, the base of your breastbone. And I want you to just sweep the under portion of your rib cage and off the body. So we're going to come back to the base of the breastbone. Give just a little brushing across the base of your rib cage and all the way off the body. And notice, is there tenderness at any given point along those areas? So what we're doing is we're bringing stimulation here into the 3rd chakra, focusing also onto the breath pattern. And so sometimes there can be some tenderness out to the outer ribs, just above waistline, that base portion of your rib cage. So you can even just give a little concentration there and just give a little rub. Nothing too intense. Take your time with it. Good. And now we're going to come down to the belly. So note where your belly button is. I want you to make soft fists with your hands. We're going to do a little drumming here onto the belly. Come out towards your pelvic points. Come in towards the belly button. If it's comfortable for you to go down a little lower, you can. You don't have to. It's not quite as fleshier. Down a little lower. You can come up towards the base of the breastbone again. Just avoid pushing on your ribs as you're drumming. And if you ate a big meal before practice, that could cause some discomfort, so check in. Keep your breath full while you're doing this, please. So this is a nice little massaging technique, helping out for digestion as well. Keep your breath deep though. Good. And now let's bring our hands right to the pelvic points and pause here for just a moment. Feel the warmth from your hands, just resting right at the pelvic points. I want you to draw your breath in full now and lift your head, tuck your chin towards your collarbones, and see if you can look down towards your toes. Holding right here. I want you to feel more of that power right around from the belly button up to the base of your breastbone. So it's like a zipper effect. We're not straining in the neck, we're actually bringing more power into the neck. Keep your breath full, please. One more. Inhale. Good. Now turn your head to the right. Good. Look down again towards your toes. Keep your head up. And now turn your head to the left. Keep your head up. Good. Look down again towards your toes. And now slowly put your head back down and feel how the muscles relax, not only through your belly, but also through your neck. We're going to move now into banana pose, starting out both legs to the far right side of your space. And then picking up your right foot, cross it over to your left ankle. So ankles cross right on top. Give a push now into your elbows, upper arms. Let's create that half moon pose, the banana shape with the body. And as comfort allows, left arm, right arm can lift up alongside your ears. We'll cradle the left wrist into the right palm of the hand. And just let yourself hang out here. Relax in through your back, your hips. Feel how both shoulders release down, letting go of the tightness. Just acknowledging all the space, the release. As you bring yourself into that space of ease and gentleness, take note of what's going on for you. How much room do you feel in through your left side from left armpit down to your waistline, around the outer part of your hip and down into your left IT band, that outer part of your left thigh? And if you're not feeling much here, you can either position your feet wider to your right side, or you can even start to give one more little pull onto your left wrist. Let your jaw relax, please. Let your neck relax and just feel gravity really taking over, giving your body space to sink into. Good. Bring the breath in full again, please. And on your exhale, gently unwind. Start with your left arm. Move your head and shoulders back around to the neutral. Then gently unwind your legs and bring your legs straight out. Let's pause in between before we move to the second side. I want you to really acknowledge how much length there is into your left side. You may have even found yourself shifting a little bit on the space you're working in. And if you need to wiggle back around so you have ample room for round two, feel free to move around. And then here we go, round two. Take your left leg wide to the side. Allow your right leg to follow. And then cross at your ankles. So we have our left ankle on top this time. Think of yourself like the shape of a banana. We're going to push now into both elbows, upper arms. Lift your head. Wiggle your shoulders to your left side as well. Buttocks hasn't moved. And notice all that space being created from your right hip, side ribs, up into the armpit as you lift your right arm overhead. You can clasp your left hand underneath your right wrist. And let your breath deepen. Good, and on your exhale, gently unwind. Let's start to bring arms back around, level out, shoulders. Unwind into your legs, please. Stretch out your legs. Feel how long even into your low back, how you feel outward through your feet, outward through your arms. That nice little moment of pause. Good. So let's help give some space now in through the tops of our thighs. I'd like for you to bring right arm overhead. Roll up onto your right hip and support your head with your right upper arm. Stack your hips, stack your legs. Good, and as you feel that little bit of extra balance taking place, if you need to, press your left hand down in front of your chest for support so you don't feel like you're going to fall over. If you feel confident enough to bring your left arm up to your left outer hip or thigh, go for it. Good, and then from here, we're going to bend the left knee behind us with the foot, and I want you to try to grab hold of the top of your left foot or ankle. If you have a little bit more flexibility, reach around, grab your ankle, and try to keep your knees touching. Now, when we keep our knees touching, the inner portion of the knees touching, they stay stacked one on top of the other. This also helps us to increase the stretch in through the top of the thigh. And sometimes you can feel that additional stretch even into your low belly. So this gets us into the psoas muscle, into the low belly. Take note of how the breath is moving. Did this make you hold your breath? What's the range of motion like in through your knee and around the top of your thigh? You want to have comfort into the left knee. And then for those of you with more flexibility, try to hug the left heel to try to touch your left buttock. So you may have enough support to really draw the heel in to touch your buttocks as well. So instead of child's pose, we're getting into this deeper stretch for the left knee, thigh, even into the ankle, depending on how you're holding your left foot. Good. Take in another deep breath, please. And on your exhale, gently release and extend your left leg straight out. Pause for a moment, and then what I'd like for you to do is bend both knees. And as you're on your side, we have both knees bent. And I want you to now push up with your left knee, and then let your left knee come down. And then up with your left knee, kind of like a clam, and then down with the knee. So we're keeping our feet together, and just the left knee is the focus of movement. So just the left knee lifting up and lowering down. And keep this really smooth. Feel how long it is in between lifting up and lowering down. We don't want to just keep moving quickly. We want to feel all that strength into the left hip, outer thigh. And this can sometimes create some little twinges or heat. We're all built differently, so we experience it differently. This is a great strengthener pose for the hip socket and outer thigh. Good. Now from here, walk your feet around once more. Come onto your back, level out. Pause for just a moment. Good. Straighten your left leg out. Feel how your back and your hip release. Go ahead and take your left arm overhead And as your left arm reaches overhead, roll up now onto your left hip and thigh and stack your legs. If you feel balanced enough to bring right hand up to your right outer hip and thigh, go for it. If you feel like you need a little more support, bend your right elbow and put the hand down in front of your chest to the floor. Good. So once you feel stable, now let's go ahead and start to bend the right knee. As you bend the right knee, reach around. Maybe you find the top of your foot. Maybe you can hold at the ankle. Try to keep the inner knees touching. Acknowledge the breath pattern. Good, and now gently release. Extend the left leg straight out. Good. You can bring your left foot behind, give a lift to your right knee. Let's bend both knees and pause for just a moment. Feel how the inner ankles, big toes touch. And now lift your right knee up and then gently lower the knee down and then lift it up again and lower it down. So as you think of your legs like a clam, you're trying to press up. You can really envision that isometric movement happening. So meaning that if you imagine my hands on the outer part of your right knee and you're trying to push up and there's resistance, and then switch it. So if you imagine that my hands on the inner part of your knee as you try to lower, have resistance. So we don't want to just have resistance moving up, we want to have resistance moving down as well. And feel how your hip, your buttocks all start to engage. Two more. Good, and then as you empty the breath out, knees touch. Just let yourself relax here for a moment. Feel that release. Continue to roll to your left side. Use both arms to bring your body upright. Let's stretch the legs out, nice and long. Let's even reach the arms up high. Reach, reach, reach. And now let yourself hinge forward. Take your time. We don't want to force that movement forward. And as you're reaching forward, lowering down over the legs, let your back lengthen. Feel the softness taking place. And then let's sway the shoulders a bit to the right and then a little bit to the left as well. And again to the right and to the left. Good. Walk your hands up your legs. Find your bolster. And we're going to bring it up behind us. And depending on how you're feeling tonight, if there's a lot of tightness into the neck, I would encourage you to maybe have another pillow or a blanket that you can also prop up. Good, and we're going to settle in as we make our journey into Shavasana, final relaxation. I want you to make sure that neck and head are comfortable. You're placed an appropriate spot for your bolster along your back. The arms can rest out to the sides, the palms can face upright. And as you start to relax down and through the elbows, the shoulders, feel that beautiful broadening in through the collarbones, the upper chest. Just let the back of your head sink down as you let go of any holding surrounding into the neck, the throat, the jawline. And as the back of your head sinks down once again, feel the balance in through your arms. Let's bring the breath in nice and full. And as you empty the breath out gradually, start to feel that little bit of extra release taking place. As you're giving space into the body to rest. We feel the muscles unwinding, relaxing. The eyelids soften over your eyes. And I want you just to take a moment to give thanks into your eyes for all that it's seen today. The colors, the words, the textures. And as you feel this gentleness coming across your eyelids, your forehead, giving yourself just a little bit more release. As we honor this time to listen to body, to be present with breath. Feel one more layer of softness taking place. And when you inhale, feel that gradual drawing in. And as you empty your breath out, feel the softness. The softness deeper around your lungs, your heart. And then from a muscular space, feel your shoulders, your chest, relaxing once again. Wherever the tightness is holding within your body, we honor these spaces of gentleness. As you give thanks at a deeper level of paying attention to what is needed. Every day is a different experience. So letting yourself just be in this experience. And as we begin to allow the breath to move inward even more, observe the long, slow exhalation. And let's bring the breath in deep once again. And a longer exhalation. And as your mind becomes more connected to your hands, allow your fingers to begin to wiggle and stretch. And as your breath grows even deeper, just taking your time and start to give a bend to one knee. Let your back stay relaxed. And then rolling to the side where your leg is still straight, push off your bent knee to help you to rise up and gently come around into a seated position. And as you feel that bit of power through your spine, the lift of the heart, excuse me, I invite you to fold your hands to prayer position Anjali Mudra, here to your heart center. The bow of your head, just take a moment and giving thanks to the body, giving thanks to the breath, giving thanks to the beat of the heart, giving thanks for the time, the space to be able to create this more gentle side to your day. And I bow to each and every one of you, and I thank you for sharing in your practice. Namaste.